Hey, it's Janae Clark, and I am here to share with you just a couple of very quick tips around how to avoid shouting into a black hole. So if you've been reading my blog up until this point, I've talked about this whole experience of standing on the edge of the galaxy with this life-saving message, right? That you just absolutely have to share because it's going to save someone. It's going to actually save the entire world. And you shout it with your entire body, with all your might, only to find that no one heard you and you saved no one because your message actually landed in a black hole. So it sounds really far-fetched, like when would I ever be standing on the edge of the galaxy? However, if you think about the messaging that you experience, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's with your marketing, whether it's you're trying to motivate your team or get someone to buy your product or your service, a lot of times that's what we're doing. We're shouting. We have this amazing message. We're shouting it into a black hole. So here are your quick tips to avoid shouting into a black hole, because as I promised in the text of this blog, this is what I was going to share with you. So number one, it seems so simple. It seems like, really, that's not really a tip. But here's the tip. Ask. Ask questions. Ask questions of your audience. Ask questions of the people who you want to receive this message. So let's start with my entrepreneurs and small business, mid-sized business owners that really want their message to resonate with their clients, their customers, and their prospects. How about you ask them? Ask them what matters to them. Ask them questions around how they want to receive it, and not blatantly like that, like, hey, do you want to see a video from us? It doesn't have to be that corny, right? But another way that you ask is you start testing out different ways of communicating with them. So maybe you post a blog, and then maybe you create a video, and then maybe you do a live stream, and compare. See what the engagement looks like. See how people respond to it. And you'd be surprised. Like, every company, every organization, every small business is going to be different. This is the same for large businesses. So if you're looking for ways to leverage, let's say, social media to reach your audience, then you have to figure out what actually resonates with them. It's okay to ask questions. Asking questions simply means I care and I understand that I might not know everything. So I want you to tell me the best way to communicate with you. Now, for those of you in corporate environments, it works exactly the same. There's no different. So let's say, for instance, you're sending out a weekly email. It's a newsletter for your team and nobody's opening it. No one's reading it. It's kind of almost, some people have filters set up to where it goes to a junk folder. I've heard this, true story. And so you're spending time, resources, effort, energy, and maybe that newsletter has amazing information, but again, you're shouting into a black hole. No one's hearing you. So what hurts you, or what stops you rather, from just asking your team? Asking the people who you're sending this message to, who you want to receive the message, and especially if you want them to take some kind of action. If there is a call to action in that email, you absolutely have to get that message across, right? Because if you don't, then there will be some action that's required for your business or for your organization that's not happening. So how about you ask? I mean, call out the obvious. Hey guys, I'm sending out an email every Monday. How come no one's reading it? You might find like, hey, sometimes I just get lost in all my emails, or I overlook it, or it's just a lot to read, or it would help if it has some pictures. All it has is text. Whatever it is, you'd be surprised if you just ask the question. Or it could be that maybe they're looking for you to actually send a little bit of information, but follow up with a face-to-face or with a team meeting or with a conference call. So again, to avoid shouting into that black hole, just ask. And two, don't be afraid to communicate using all kinds of different ways to reach your audience. So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing a video, because mind you, the blog is all text and there's some images in there just to kind of break up the monotony of the text, but it's all text. But how much more powerful is it for you to read the text and then see a video? So mind you, I understand that we can't use video in every single scenario. It's not appropriate for every scenario. It's not appropriate for every type of communication. But where you can insert either recorded video like this is, or even live video, and let's say if it's in a corporate setting, it could be that you're doing a series of conference calls or you're doing something like video chatting, or it could be Skype for Business. I mean, whatever it is that you use, whatever those IT tools that you have that you can communicate the message in a different way versus just sending an email or sending a memo or even putting it in some announcements or on a scrolling marquee or however you communicate with your team, this might be one way. And then for my entrepreneurs and for my business owners, I want you to think about, again, what are some other things that you could be doing to communicate with your audience, with your ideal clients? So whether it's in your social media presence or it's you in person. So mind you, you may go to a networking event and this is still a part of your communication strategy. It doesn't mean that it changes just because you're in person. So are you clearly communicating what your business stands for? Are you making a compelling argument around why someone should select your business, your product, or your service? So I want you to think about, don't be afraid to use different channels. Don't be afraid to use different ways to communicate. Not everyone is going to pick up something, read it, and then do something different, change their behavior, whatever the case is. They're not going to do that. Some people will, some people won't. So if you want to reach a broader audience, and most importantly, stop shouting into a black hole, try something new. And before that, ask. That's all I have for you. So I want you to make sure you continue to follow my blog on LinkedIn. There's information down below on how we can connect and stay connected. And I want to hear from you. When have you had that experience where you shouted into a black hole? Where you had this amazing, like, world-changing, life-saving message that no one heard? It was swallowed up. And then also I want to hear about your successes. Tell me about a time that you really had this amazing message and the people who were intended to receive it, they did. What did you do differently? What worked for you? I want to hear from you. I'm Janae Clark. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll be back next week with, who knows, something else around messaging and communication and all the cool stuff that I love. Bye.